I feel like there's not enough said about how hard it is to navigate life by yourself as a single person. And not emotionally and not mentally. I mean, just like navigating the day to day things about life. When we're younger, it's always stressed. Like, if you're going to start a family, if you're going to have kids, make sure you're not a single mom. Make sure you have a partner who's going to help you and support you, etc. But if you go through life single, you just kind of have that notion that you're going to be okay because you don't have kids to take care of. It's just you. How much food could you need? How much this could you need? How much that could you need? It's still a lot. And I would argue that sometimes it's more because you're one income and you only have yourself to rely on. Like, my rent starts with a two, and not just a two,
What?
a 2-1. It's almost 2-2. So that's already like, that's, to be frank, it's more than one of my biweekly paychecks. So already that's like,
Oh
and of
no.
course it's shelter and I'm grateful for it, but
What are
that's
you
a
doing?
huge undertaking. I never imagined that my rent would be this much. And granted, I live in Florida where the cost of living is higher, but I don't live in a major
No.
metro area. I live in the West Palm Beach area. It's not Miami, it's not Tampa. It's not even Orlando. I guess I just envisioned myself as a single person, like knowing that I was going to be single, that I was going to be like Joan or Tony from Girlfriends. Like, having watched that as a little kid and seeing how they were living, and Joan had a great house and Tony had a great apartment, and neither of them started out rich, or I don't remember if Joan did, but Tony definitely didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that is the goal. That's the dream, to be self sufficient like these ladies are. And it's not like that whatsoever. I'm more like Carrie Bradshaw's finances without her closet. And I think about this all the time, but I guess I'm thinking about it more now because I am planning a trip out of state to go to a
Oh,
wedding.
see?
And I was
See?
thinking, like, oh my God, it would be so nice to have someone to split these costs with, like the hotel, or, just some of the other things that come with
Mm-mm.
traveling. And no, it's like it's all on me. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I always find a way, and I'm resourceful like that, and I'm I'm okay with money. Like, I'm not the greatest with money, but
You're not.
I can figure
You're
it
not.
out. But there are just some times where I'm like, I wish there was more, or I wish I didn't have to figure it out. I really just wish there was more. But I say all this to say that I would not give up my independence for anything. Like, I'm very proud of how independent I am, and
Oh,
I can do things for myself, and I know that I have my back
there
in
it
all
goes.
situations. Like, of course everyone needs help, but there are a lot of things that I can help myself with. But
There it goes. You found it.
still, like I said, I wish there was just more. Like, I just
Mm-mm.
need a little bit more. I just need a little bit more. I need a little bit more. I feel
Mm-mm. You can't have it all. Cannot have it all. Y'all, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype. Now, the whole time she was telling that story, which first things first, she's paying at minimum 2,200 a month for her apartment, and that doesn't even equal up one of her biweekly paychecks. That's more than her one of her biweekly paychecks. So her apartment rent by itself is more than half of her income. And she thought that was a good idea because she made it seem like she just ended up in that situation. No, you picked that. And it seems like she may, just from what I'm able to gather, she may have a hard time compromising what she really wants. I think that there are certain amenities, certain things that she wanted in an apartment, and she wasn't willing to basically relent on that. And she wanted a certain standard of living. Because I would argue that you could find much cheaper than that if you're not even in the metro area in Florida. So that's one. She didn't want to make any concessions on that, is what it appears. And that's what ultimately, in my mind, came out because I have a very keen eye. And so the whole time, when I see a lady like this who looks very, put together and she doesn't have any baggage or anything like that going on, what I'm curious about, if you're saying that you want a relationship, but you're unable to get it, is I'm like, she's got to be difficult in some way. She has to be difficult in some way. And I think it's the not willing to make concessions, as well as she's talking about, I wish that I had somebody just so that they could split the cost of me going to this wedding. Understand this. This is probably a friend's wedding and probably a friend that she's not even that close with. But for some reason, the ladies feel like they have to go to every one of their acquaintances' weddings for some reason, and they're willing to do all this traveling for that. And she's wishing she could split the cost with another guy. Notice also she says she values her freedom. I bring this up because, see, it will probably be a point of contention because the guy will probably say, listen, man, we're not going to a wedding every quarter of the year. Like, who is this friend that you feel like you got to go to their wedding? And she's talking about splitting the cost to go to the wedding. No, what a man would probably do is he would save you more than that because he'd probably just say, nah, I don't think we're going to this one. And see, that will probably be the point of contention and the point of difficulty, and ultimately the fork in the road that will probably divide the relationship. And I would argue that it's probably a lot of situations like that because it's like she knows there's a problem, but I can't see her conceding on certain things that she may feel that she needs, right? Because that's why she's spending all this money. And she just, how do you have money to go to a wedding and your living costs are, excuse me, not even your living costs, just your rent payment alone, not even including utilities, nothing else is more than your biweekly pay. Where are you getting the money to go to the wedding? She's probably having to take out debt. And see, that order, that structure, that's what's needed. She needs somebody to tell her no because it doesn't make sense and you can't afford it. Again, y'all, if you like the video, I greatly appreciate it.
The single tax is so real. Like, I'm genuinely like, I would move my parents into my house right now if my parents like lived close to me. Like, they're renting, and it would just like make my life so much easier. To have somebody to split these fucking bills with. Everything is so expensive. I'm like just genuinely like fighting for my life. If you have a dual income, no kids household, consider yourself blessed and highly favored. Like,
That's true.
this is why actually my 15-year plan when I was 15, or excuse me, my 10-year plan when I was 15, I should have kept to that.
Struggling. The structure just isn't solo friendly. The US economy was not designed for any one person to tackle it alone. If we're being honest, the structure is very much married couples built. It assumes shared responsibility, it assumes households. That's the reason why the economy even works for two people. It either works for single mothers who get the benefit of government benefits,
Benefits.
welfare, and that type of thing, or a married couple who get the benefit of things like purchasing a house, you get to write off the interest tax on that yearly, or you get a break for property taxes, that type of thing. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
funny how people are always talking about strict programs, strict programs, strict programs. The U.S. capitalistic system runs a strict program, and y'all just don't want to live in it. You don't like marriage, you don't like kids, you don't like family or things like that. But the system is not designed to give single people a break. You're never going to get a tax break. Y'all get on here often talking about, as a single person, you're getting taxed to hell. You're going to continue to do that until you have children. The system is designed for you to act in a way that is beneficial to the government. The more people who are married and have more kids, the more people they have to tax. That's the way it is. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's what the system is. So when y'all be talking about, oh, the system is rigged, no, it's structured for a certain way. I'm not going to give you a benefit for being a single person. I'm going to give you a benefit for either having children or being married and have kids. Y'all need to pick which side y'all going to be on. You're not.
right? Because there's a whole lot more that he didn't address as far as just the benefits of having kids, right? On the government side, for one, the kids are going to be the next generation of the military strength because old men don't want to go to war. Life's just getting good, right? So what do they like to do? They like to send the young, impressionable, kids out to go fight their battles for them, right? So they need those young guys who really haven't realized yet, you know, to go fight for something that they don't know what they're fighting for. But which I support the military and I think, it's needed. But so yes, because actually there's a lot of countries dealing with that, like China, Russia, as far as just trying to understand how they're going to be able to start getting their citizens to reproduce more because they need that in order for the coming years of their military strength in the next generations. So that's one thing, but also you need younger kids to do all the jobs you don't want to do, right? Otherwise, like who's going to do you're not going to have any service. So but just thinking too about it being built for two, it's definitely built for two, and you can see it. And it's either going to be built for two, or it's going to be built for one who likes to work and who likes to really get it and is a savage out here. And if you don't have that in you, then you might want to consider conceding and compromising and pairing together with another person so that you can do life together.
This is actually really weird for me. I'm on TikTok over here being emotional and stupid, whatever. But like I want to know like who are the people that's glorifying being single? Like I want to know what type of life that y'all live. What are y'all doing to be so happy to be single? Cause I'm not understanding. I've been single for like over a year now. I'm in my 20s, and this is
Yeah.
like this is not for the weak. Like this is miserable. Like I'm actually miserable. I'm actually miserable. Not only am I single, but the friends I have are not really friends. I got my family, woo, but everything else is like in the shitter.
What?
This is a miserable life, for real.
If you can't see the caption says when you become single again and your bill go from $95 back to $10. That's so funny, and that's actually very true. Because men, we don't just get everything. The ladies, they like to get every course every time they go to the restaurant. So they want to get multiple drinks. They want to get they got to get the appetizer, the entree, and then they'll even try to get dessert. And it'll run that bill up so crazy. Us fellas, we could just go out and just enjoy the ambiance. Just get an appetizer at one place one day. Maybe say I'm gonna just go here. I'm gonna get a drink. You might just go to somewhere and just get a beer. A beer might be $4. You can leave a rest. Did you know, ladies, that you could leave a place and like spend $10? Only spent $10, and that's with a good tip as well. They don't be knowing that.
There's literally grown women online complaining about being a single woman and having to pay their own bills as if we have a fucking choice. We kind of don't and we kind of do. Because when you think about it, if you really want somebody to be in your house so bad, because I really don't think, you really want a provider in your house. You just want a man in your bed. You just don't want to be alone. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that you're struggling to pay bills or you're struggling to go on these little
Oh my goodness.
these girl trips every summer. Going online and complaining about not being able to pay your bills is baiting no good men to come in your house and fuck your shit up. But good luck. I guess.
She seems happy about her life, don't she?
I cannot be dating in this economy. Not only am I spending $80 for a tank of gas, I'm driving like 45 minutes to an hour to go see people for a date night, and then dropping like 80 to 100 bucks per date. Like, what is going on? I just did that 2 nights in a row? Hell no. I think it's time to either stay single or get cuffed up.
Yeah, but why do you have to lock yourself into that? You could still date, and in my opinion, you could date a little bit more effectively. Because if you have to make the date super expensive, because he said dating's hella expensive, if it has to be like that, then that could be a great disqualifier in itself. If you're not enough and just spending time with you, whether that's at the park, whether that's at the coffee shop, whether that's just on a ride, taking a ride through the town, if you're not enough, then you have your answer right there. But see, a lot of guys don't want to face the music. A lot of guys don't want to take the answer that's been given and then run with it and then actually just accept it.
Being single is ruining the economy. Why? Because years ago, 80, I believe 70 or 80% of all adults were married. Now it's around 25 to 35%, or I think, or something like that. So
Hmm.
now we have inflated prices on the housing and inflated prices on cars, because if you have a family, you usually don't need but one car, and usually if you're married, you only need but one house. But if you're single, you're buying a house. Man is buying a house, woman is buying a house. So it inflated the housing prices, and that has trickled down into everything else with food, groceries, consumables, everything, because families are not, communities are not combining anymore. So people need to start getting married again. Let's get married, find you somebody you love, take your time, get to know each other, and go to the altar. Let's save the economy, y'all. Get married. Come on.
I think people should have more of a show a bit more understanding. In 2024, you know how expensive it is.
Oh my God.
I'm seeing couples stay together because they can't afford to break up.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
Stay there and laugh.
that's a
Stay there and
truth.
laugh.
That's the truth.
You're kicking the person out, and all of a sudden that person's like, "What? I can't afford it. This was good for me.
Listen, you're kicking
This
that
upbringing
person.
was good for me."
Listen, that you're both going, let's say, £900 each.
Yeah.
Yeah, to live in this one place. Now all of a sudden your bill is a whole different thing when that person's gone. Yeah, mate. Nah.
Let's work it out.
Yeah, let's stay.
People working
Yeah,
it
let's
out.
let's just stay together.
What? The gas prices are up. I'm seeing people going out of their house now. It's too expensive to stay in.
What prices is everything's up?
And you want me to buy presents on top of that?
Yeah.
Come on, just lucky. Be lucky I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Be lucky I'm breathing. I'll figure out how to survive. Let's start again when that Kia guy gets kicked out of that bloody house. If he ever gets kicked out of the house.
Keir Starmer.
Whatever his name is, man.
Strong.
What I said earlier, I said if you do want to be alone, right, and you don't want to have somebody else to depend on, then you got to be a savage and you got to like to work. But what I didn't say was you also got to be able to deal with the pressure, because everything is on you at that point. Your success or your failure is going to be solely on your shoulders, and you got to take full accountability. You got to take full responsibility. We'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. And it's designed for smaller content creators. And then also Patreon is linked below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.